Hello and welcome back to Technology Review. I'm your host, Mac Jackson Jr. You can find me on my website, and that's Mac, M-A-C-K, Jackson, J-A-C-K-S-O-N, J-R.com. You also can find me on Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube for previous episodes, as well as Twitter and Instagram. If you need to send me an email, please send it to info@macjacksonjr.com. That's info@macjacksonjr.com. In this segment, we call it the Business Spotlight, where we talk about companies. If you have an organization, your business, you need to listen to this part of our segment, because this is part of our show. We talk about what businesses need to do to protect themselves from identity theft and fraud. But first, I want to give you a plug on a news story that I'm working with a reporter here in Las Vegas from Channel 3 Television. Her name is Gabby Hart, and we have a story that we're going to air on Channel 3 this Monday, February 10th at 11 p.m. show. But it's regarding Facebook and certain third-party apps that ask for your personal identifiable information. That's right, folks. You ever play one of those games where they ask you what celebrity you should be or what superhero are you? And you answer a number of questions, and then the system puts together a algorithm that tells you this is the type of superhero you should be. Well, certain third-party companies not affiliated with Facebook are asking other personal identifiable information questions. Like some of them are kind of like security questions, like what's your favorite pet? What's your first pet's name? Where was the city you were born in? That information there, I don't think a superhero needs to know that information about yourself to guess who you are or try to protect information. But what they're trying to do, folks, they're playing a nice, cool game, and we understand that. We're trying to guess what superhero you are, or trying to make you feel like you're a superhero of some kind. But what they're also trying to get is information, personal information about you. This information is acquired from advertisers, folks. That's right, advertisers, because Facebook doesn't cost us anything. So how does Facebook make their money? By selling ads. So you enter this information about yourself, your personal identifiable information. That information is then put together in a database about you. Remember my previous segment? I talked about how these databases can be interconnected. If any of these other sites or companies had their databases hacked, broken into, connections can be made with other databases about you with just a little bit of data about who you are. Once you put data together, you now have a profile. Now, these third-party companies, I'm not accusing them of being any nefarious activities, but there are bad guys out there too that have similar websites that would ask you certain questions. And as you're playing along in a game to go through this so-called assessment of yourself, of your personality, you are giving them information about yourself that in some circles suggest you shouldn't do that. And I would definitely make sure that if you're on a website that you haven't heard of before or is not credible, then you shouldn't give them your personal identifying information. If you'd like to know other websites that you can go to that can possibly even test your the website and make sure it's a good one, you can do that as well. Send me an email at info@macjacksonjr.com, and I might put it up on Twitter as well. These are, if you find a website that you're not sure about, there is a website that is governed by law enforcement. You can enter your website you have in question, and it'll let you know if it's in a database of fraudulent websites that's trying to get your personal information, your personal data. So that's definitely something that you should stay tuned for the story that will be on Monday again, Monday on Channel 3 at 11 p.m. with reporter Gabby Hart from Channel 3. And it's a great story we put together. We try to do more stories like this across the country with news agencies and news organizations across the country on cybersecurity and identity theft. So back to businesses. If you have a company, folks, and you're selling a product over the internet, or you're selling it in a brick and mortar store, you have a laptop, you're doing transactions, you're using programs like QuickBooks and PayPal, and you're swiping information on your laptop, you are collecting personal identifiable information from your customer regarding their transaction they just bought from you. This information is your responsibility. It is your responsibility to take this information and safeguard it, keep it. You would assume that the accounting software you purchase, the laptop you purchase, the phone that you have, that this information is secured. It's an assumption we make, folks. It's an assumption. But you should not just assume. You should know. You should know what happens to that credit card information that you just swiped for your customer. Where does it go? Does it go from your laptop to the customer's bank? Is that information stored and recorded anywhere? These are questions you should find out, folks. And there's ways to do that. Contact me and I can walk you through there or train your organization for them. But just to let you know, that information you're responsible for. So if something were to happen in the future, in the interim, where you got hacked, you have to show in an audit and prove that you have done everything in your due diligence to protect your customers' personal data. Now, you can't just say, well, I bought a software program, I assume that they knew what they were doing. No, you have to know where does that data rest and where it resides and how it's destroyed, gotten rid of after the transaction is processed. It sounds like it's complicated, but it really isn't. It's just being aware of what to do. And what my company and other companies in cybersecurity awareness, what we do is train organizations like yours to spot suspicious transactions. We call them SARS sometimes, suspicious transaction reports, and what to look for, strange activity that maybe your customer's doing, or it could be a vendor that has their information not secured. So it's very, very important you have this information documented. And ways to do that, folks, is to create a policy and procedure within your organization. And you can train your people in your organization to make sure that they understand their responsibilities. Cyber attacks can happen in lots of different ways, not just getting data information, but physical information as well. For example, I've talked to several companies that stated that there were a group of individuals that were purported to work for a cable communication company or internet company here in town, and they had on the fake badges that looked legitimate. They showed it to the front desk person, showed it to the office manager. Now, the owner of the business was out of town, but when they showed their credentials, they said they need to check the servers for power failures because there was a power failure within the building. Doesn't sound like that would be something that anyone would take a look at and think, well, maybe that's possibly true. Well, they let the people in, and they were able to go to the server room and just connect a USB drive to one of the servers. Took them less than 30 seconds to do this, folks. When they left the office, they were there no more than 5 minutes. They were able to have access to all the information in that company and gather and monitor it. Now, that is a physical cyber attack. That's a cyber attack like a robbery. I mean, that is very, very smooth. Nowadays, with 3D printers and graphic printers, you can have a badge made up from any organization in the world stating that you are a technician from that organization. There are process and procedure you should have in your company anytime there is a vendor that comes to your property to do work. More than a purchase order number or requisition, you need to have proof that person should be there by contacting somebody, right? It should be an appointment book, a sign-in sheet. This is just one example. Another is, what about your old laptops? Organizations have old laptops. They're looking to upgrade their computers. What do they do when they upgrade their computers? What happens to the old ones? Do they donate them to a charity organization? Well, folks, the hard drives in those machines are still hold vital data regarding your business. That information on those hard drives is worth gold, more than Bitcoin, coin a term, more than Bitcoin, to cyber criminals. So you need to make sure that those hard drives are deleted and wiped clean. These are other things that you can learn by being a part of our organization here at Technology Review and with my company, MJ Computer Concepts. For more information, please go to my website, macjacksonjr.com. We'll do a training exercise in your organization. We'll come out to your business and show you how to protect your company from cyber attacks and cyber crimes. For more information, you can give me a call at 702-868-0808. That's 702-868-0808. Find out more about cybersecurity and what's going on in your industry, what's going on in our valley and around the country, and how to protect your information from cyber crimes. And make sure you have a proper policy in your organization, folks. That's the best way. Knowledge is power. We'll be back here, folks, Technology Review, with our next segment on cyber crimes and protecting your data. See you in a minute, folks. Thank you.